Hey beauties, good afternoon to you beautiful people. So beauties, I saw a police officer. Yes, beauties, I saw a police officer. He was more than reprimanding the police officer, the female police officer who was in that sort of physical altercation with the civilian in fairly recent time at a school. I don't know if it's a primary school or high school. And he really scolded her. He really reprimanded her. And I mean, I probably would not have been that harsh, but what bothered me, people, to be honest, I saw the second half of the video in which they were telling the woman to go into the Jeep. The lady was kind of sitting on the ground. She wasn't on the chair. And I remember and I was saying in my head, why they keep saying going into the car and tell her, you must have going, and acting that way, acting out of control. And she was even more controlled right there in the vehicle. Why are they behaving like that? I remember saying that to myself, but I heard more than one people actually said that the police officer beat the girl on her hand. So she bit her on the hand and was intimidating her by touching on her gun, you know. And I said, oh my God, I have to go and watch back the video because I can hardly believe it. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not in support of people disrespecting authority, especially when it is unwarranted. Especially when it is unwarranted. I am not in the business of that. I believe that people must learn to respect people in authority. Now, as I've said before, that police officers are not the law as many may think. They can only carry out to a certain extent. They can charge and arrest you, and that's it. Make you lock up in a jail. That is it. Is the court going to decide if you stay in or you come out? So they're not the law. It's a body of people above the police officers. They're only mandated to do that. And once they're out of the police force, they're a regular civilian, no more. So they only get a duty for a certain time. So they have to think long term. Please, police officers, think long term. Remember, you will not be a police officer always. And we're living in a day and age where revenge is even more. People don't care. They're not leaving vengeance to God. And I like me, we say, may leave vengeance to God. I believe in respecting the laws of the land. I believe in that. I mean, so long as it's something lawful, and even if they're doing something wrong, two wrongs certainly don't make a right. But to have bitten the civilian on her hand, I said, no, this cannot be real. This situation didn't warrant that, because let me tell you, some police officers, you're used to people tracing off, telling all kinds of things and going on in the most unseeming way, and none of these things happen. None of this type of altercation happens. It's disrespectful, as I've said, and I stand firm-footed on that. I respect police officers, but she should never have grabbed the woman here. That was extremely painful. Two of you were there, so she could not manhandle you. If she attacked the male police officer would have had to come and intervene. He would have no choice. I know they have the whole thing about the female officer dealing with female civilians. Similarly, the male officers deal with male civilians. I do understand it from a whole holistic perspective, or different points of views. I understand where that is coming from. But to have bitten the woman, you bite. You had bitten the woman? You've got to be kidding me. No, man, you have to be held accountable for that. You have to be held accountable, even for dragging her here. You have to be held accountable, police officer. You're not above the law. You only carry out a law that you have to abide by. And if you break it, another police officer has to, charge you or whatever it is. Detain you, then you get, arrested and charged and whatnot. You follow the steps and the procedures. No, man, you're out of order. You're out. You passed your place. I couldn't believe it. I heard it, but I figured people were just talking. But when I kept hearing it and said, let me go back on the video, I said, no, I couldn't believe it. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Are you insane? Your mantra is to serve, to protect, and to reassure. And if your life is threatened, then by all means you're going to protect your life. I understand that the laws give you the power to say, you have to protect yourself at all costs, obviously, and that goes for even anybody. That is why you have a thing called manslaughter, self-defense, if somebody should die in the hands of somebody. So if somebody breaks into somebody's home and they're threatening the person, and the person has to defend his or her life, and they get rid of the perpetrator, I mean, it's self-defense. So it's not a matter of them committing murder, in the way, like shedding innocent blood or something of the sort, or doing it out of malicious intent, or doing it with malice. We understand all of that concept. We understand. And as I said, I believe, because someone did tough, listen again, I believe in respecting the laws of the land, respecting police officers. But what that police officer did was wrong. Even, one of the things that I don't like with us as Jamaicans, and it 90% of the chances, or 90% chance, is that they're going to disrespect you. Just have it like that. Because we had hot in Jamaica. Most, or let's say it's not going to say most, but many, many Jamaicans are aggressive. That's our, I don't know, it's our culture, it's embedded in us, it's systemic. And you're a product of the same country in which we reside. So, if you say certain things and the lady is irate, she's going to respond in an irate manner towards you. So it's something to be expected. Hardly likely going to find them being calm. I was passing somewhere and I saw a police officer and a man quarreling. The man cussing him and say, you disrespect me, you're going on, the man I get vexed. And there was no physical altercation. The man is airing his perspective, the police is airing his perspective. Yes, they might be irate and vexed and upset and all of that, but it didn't warrant a physical altercation. There's a thing called self-control. We need to have self-control with our mouth, because words are very important and significant, and they can be very divisive. You understand me? And they can be very, very vitriolic and detrimental. I'm not saying no. But when you start to go into the physical, you have to be held accountable. You actually go bite the woman? Are you mad? Bite the woman for what reason? And I remember when I saw her, because when I had to go back and look at it, I remember she was sitting she wasn't even in the chair. She was kind of, because of how the other lady was going on and talk about going to the vehicle. Right? It's a joke. We have to do better than that, man. Come on, police officers. Lord, help us all. Am I saying the lady was right? Because people are saying, I hear people say they know her, she's always, disruptive and creating some sort of, problems or whatever it is at the church. I don't know what situation took place with her son. They said he was vaping or whatever it is. I don't even know what that is. What is that? You mean there's something that they smoke out, that electronic thingy? Is that what she call vaping? I have no clue. Right? So she probably just frustrated with the son. She go to the school. She probably can't take the moderation. I'm not saying she's right. You know what I mean? And maybe she's fed up. Maybe she has been trying to deal with her situation. I'm not saying she's right. If that is the case, people who commit certain kind of crime because somebody cheated on them or gave them bun, then don't lock them up, don't charge them. No, I cannot say that. But at the same time, I'm saying that the police officer is trained how to deal with a situation. You're used to Jamaican people with their mouth run off. Even if you're having a bad day, to grab her by the hair, it tells who you are as a police officer. And then you beat her, it tells who you are as a police officer. You don't belong in the force. Are you crazy? See, your squaddy there, as we call him, scold is a mild word. Reprimand is a mild word. And normally, police officers tend to pick up for police officers. You understand me? Or they stay quiet. If they know that the person wrong, they stay quiet. And when you hear that guy actually hit out against you, you must know. Because that's crazy. I've never ever seen anything like this. And then the man somebody had the audacity to come on my post to say something. I said, shut your trap. Because I said, initially in my post, I said I didn't even know the whole story. But as time goes on, you kind of get the backstory. And then you go and you watch the videos. There are videos there to prove it. She should not have bitten the woman. The situation didn't warrant her being bitten. And you drag her here, too dangerous physical altercation. Yes, people. So, I forgot to say this. Pointing your finger in somebody's face is considered an assault. It is an assault. I know you don't like, but I've often talked about the face. You see right assault? Left assault with people. Don't touch it with a long stick. Whether you point finger, spit, box, thumb, whatever. Left assault. But lady police officer, you need to be scolded. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this.